Okay, so 4-2, real zeros. I kind of gave them an introduction before I started recording. Sorry, so they kind of know some of this information already. 4-2 boils down to the P over Q method. Okay, so P over Q. P is the constant term. Begin writing this in your notes. The constant term. Q is the leading coefficient. Okay? Is the leading coefficient. Okay, so we want to, I'm going to do this problem for example 1. So the constant term, what's the constant term for example 1? 6. It's the last term. It's the one that's constant, doesn't have an X on him. So it's 6 over, and then the leading coefficient, what's that one? 2. The leading coefficient is the number out in front. 6 over 2. This is the P over Q method. Okay, now, we don't just do 6 over 2. We have to list out the factors. So after you do that, step number 2, list the factors of each one of those. So the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. But not only that, positive and negative, right? Positive 1 times positive 6 will give me 6, but negative 1 times negative 6 will give me 6. Positive 2 times positive 3, and negative 2 times negative 3. Those will all give me 6. What about 2? Positive 1, negative 1. Positive 2, negative 2. Okay? All right, now I have to list all of those out as factors. Okay? So this guy right here, 1 over 1, will give me plus and minus 1. Okay, but then I have to also do 1 over 2, which will give me that 1/2 as a factor. Plus and minus 1/2. Okay, then I have 2 over 1. So that's plus and minus 2. But then this list gets a little bit shorter because 2 over 2, what's that reduced to? 2 over 2 is plus and minus 1, which we don't have to repeat again. So I'm going to put it in the list, but I'm going to cross it out so you guys can see that we did list it, but it's already repeated, okay? Then we do 3 over 1, plus and minus 3. Then 3 over 2 is plus and minus 3/2. Then 6 over 1 is plus and minus 6. And 6 over 2 is plus and minus 3, which we don't have to repeat again because he's already up there, right? Okay? So, this is my list of possible factors. Or I'm going to say possible zeros. Possible zeros. So, when I'm trying to find the zeros of this polynomial, okay, maybe it looks like a W. I don't know. That's what he looks like here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to find each one of those 4 places where he crosses, right? Okay? Those 4 places where he crosses are listed somewhere in this list. If it is not listed in this list, like name a number that's not listed in that list.
5.
5. 5 is not listed in this list. Therefore, this point right here is not going to be 5. There's no way he can be 5. If he's not listed in that list, he is not going to be a 0 where he crosses. Okay? That's the P over Q method. Okay? All right, now we're going to divide and conquer this real quick. Okay? We have how many possible zeros do we have?
7.
We have 12. We have 12 because there are technically 6 numbers up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But each one of those is plus and minus. So we have 12 possible zeros. Okay? Now, not all 12 of those are going to be places where he crosses. So to determine which ones are which, we have to plug each one of those in and figure out which ones come to 0. Okay? They have no remainder. That means they go in there perfectly. So we're going to try 1, and we're going to try negative 1, and we're going to try 2, and we're going to, 1/2, and we're going to try negative 1/2, and we're going to try 2, and we're going to try negative 2, and we're going to try 3. This is example 2. And we're going to try 3 over 2, and we're going to try negative 3 over 2, and we're going to try 6 and negative 6. Those are going to be my numbers that we're going to try, each one of those.
You better not be doing number example 2.
This is example 2. Example 1, we were listing them out. Example 2, we were actually finding which ones work. Okay, so There are how many of you in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. 12 exactly. Okay.
What is example 2?
Okay, there are 12 of you exactly. This is going to be very important because you are working on your own on this one.
Well,
actually, I'll do pairs. How about we do this? How about we do this? Okay. You two have plus or minus 1.
what does that mean? What do we do?
Okay. So what you're going to do, whatever number I give you, you're going to plug them in. Right?
But
So
on
they're
our
going to plug
assignment,
in.
we
Just
have to
wait.
do
Just wait.
Yes.
You have to do all 12. We're going to divide and conquer. So they are only doing 1 and -1. Only 1 and -1. Okay? So 1 and -1, you guys are going to plug that in. Liddell and Caden, you guys have 1/2 and -1/2, where you can plug in
Alright,
0.5. You guys have 2 and -2. 2 and -2. You guys have 3 and -3.
Those two.
Yes.
Those two and then
You guys have 3 over 2 and -3.
we have 6! You do
6
negative
and
6.
-6. Okay, check each other though. Don't just have one person do it. Don't just have one person do it.
We do negative,
Okay, so they kind of know what they're doing already. So if you're watching this video, what we're doing is we're plugging each one of these into this function to try to see which ones work and which ones don't work. What we are looking for is we want them to plug in to equal 0. If they equal 0, that's as if the remainder is 0 when we divide it, right? We had a rule that said if it comes out to be 0, it is a factor. So we're looking to see which one of these, when you plug them in, come out to be 0, okay? So I'm just giving each one of them one to work on, and then it just goes a little bit faster. So we're going to figure out which 4 of these, because there should be 4 of them, are going to be zeros, okay? You might end up with some huge numbers. If you end up with some huge numbers, that's fine. You just know that's not the answer, right?
So wait, what? What is it supposed to be?
It's supposed to equal 0 if it works.
How do you have a space?
Sometimes it won't work though.
How do you have a space?
Okay, so you know what's supposed
How do you
to
add a
work,
what?
what's not supposed to work?
Yeah, you just
Is
have
there
to
a
go
quick
to
way
that
to
number
do
and
this?
insert.
Okay.
There was
Insert.
Run away.
Okay, come on, I have a question about this now.
Hold on, wait a second.
But it's in
This way, wait. Okay, did you get all your numbers figured out? We're going to do a roll call here. I'm going to list off each one and you're going to tell me yes or no. Okay, so be prepared.
I don't know if I did it right though.
I don't know, we'll find out. That's why Caden's supposed to check you. Caden, did you do them?
Yeah, I did
Did
not.
you do both of them?
No.
You're supposed to do both of them. That's why
Okay,
you're prepared.
you got me there.
So do both of them and then check with each other to make sure what you got.
obviously our Is there a quick way to do it?
This is the quick way. This way.
We got
There's
excited.
no quick way to do
This way. I'll show you.
I did not get what you got.
I got 0. Can you probably do it
I
wrong?
probably
All right, we had enough time to plug these in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a roll call. Here we go. So, the number positive, be quiet so I can get all these down. The positive number 1, does it work? They said no. No. Positive number 1 does not come out to 0. What about negative 1?
No.
Does not come out to 0. What about 1/2? Liddell Caden. Did 1/2 come out to be 0?
Yeah, I can't be half.
Positive 1/2 is
Yeah.
0. Okay. What about negative
I'm
1/2?
doing it right now.
She feels stupid.
I don't.
Negative 1/2 you're doing right now?
You put it in the parentheses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I came out to 3.75.
Okay, so negative 1/2 does not work.
Okay, I got
Because
it
it's
right.
3.75. Does not work. 2s.
No.
2?
Nope.
No.
Either neither one, positive,
Neither.
negative, does not work. Okay. What about 3s back there?
No to positive, yes to negative.
Yes to negative 3, because it came out to be 0. Okay.
Shut up.
What about 3 over 2?
Supposed to work.
No, neither of them work. Positive 3 over 2, doesn't work, doesn't work.
Neither of the sixes work.
What?
Neither.
Neither of the 6s work? You're sure?
Did any of the ones work?
Well,
Are
I know
you
the
positive?
negative one doesn't. I know the positive one doesn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
None of those work. None of those work. Find all real zeros.
Uh-oh. What did we do wrong?
How many should there be?
4.
4, unless Unless two of them are imaginary, right?
Oh,
No, there's four.
Ah, two of them could be imaginary. But is there four?
There are four.
Let's find who was wrong. We'll find out who was wrong. Somebody didn't plug these in right.
Positive 3 both work.
Hold on.
Okay, Kaden.
2. We'll find out. 2. X to the 4th plus x to the 3rd minus 17x squared minus 4x plus 6. By the way, hey, folks,
Hey.
I'll show you something really brilliant right now. You ready for this?
Yeah, what?
Okay, Desmos.
Yeah.
As soon as you type the guy in there, of course he graphs it for you, and we can see that there's 4 of them. So somebody didn't do it right because -3 and +3, no, wrong. 2.732. Oh, whatever. 0.5 and -0.732. Okay, because those are irrational ones. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We did it right. We did it right. So these two are coming out nicely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What you can do is if you want Desmos to plug these all in for you, instead of calling this y, I'm going to name him f of x. Okay? And then what I can do is down below here, I want to know what f of 1 is. I want to know what f of -1 is. I want to know what f of 0.5 is. I want to know what f of -0.5 is.
Can we do this on the test?
No, not on the test you won't.
This
is an alternative.
Why are they supposed to? I know we need
But-
to figure out who's wrong.
This will go faster. There is nobody wrong. I'll show you why. I'll show you why. Okay?
And why did we question?
So, just wait a second. So there are 2 answers that are correct. And you found both of them, and that's great.
No.
There are 2 answers that are correct.
There were 2 or 4 places
Okay? There are 2 answers that are correct. Those 2 places where he crosses are correct. Okay? Those 2 places are correct.
Oh,
Except.
Oh no.
So the other 2, we know that there should be 4. The other 2 are either.
Where's I?
So, where are the other 2?
Not in Ari.
They are in.
Where are the other 2? They are either imaginary, meaning that he doesn't touch those 2 places, right? Because x to the 4th power doesn't have to touch 4 places. He could touch 2. This one does, though. They're either imaginary or
They're not rational.
irrational. Okay, that's another thing that they could be. Irrational means like the square root of 3 or the square root of 5,
Yeah, they're
right?
definitely irrational.
They're definitely irrational because they are really big, long decimals, okay? So, how do we get to them? We don't know. How do we get to them? How do we get to them? So, here's the deal. I'm going to...
How do you know there's 4?
How do we know that there's 4? Because the highest power is 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. We're going to skip example 3 because example 3 is the same, but I'm going to use the room for example 3 to finish this example. Okay? And we know that 1/2 goes in there perfectly, right? So I'm going to use synthetic division to divide out 1/2, okay? Just
Humor.
humor me here. Just humor me. Just humor me.
Boomer.
Yes.
2 goes straight down.
Write this down. Write this down. Okay, so 1/2 is gonna pull out. So I have 2, and then 1, -17, -4, and 6. Right? Okay. All right. So drop the 2 down. What's 1/2 of 2?
1.
1. 1 and 1 together make 2. What's half of 2 again?
1.
1, and that makes
-17.
-16.
Oh, 16.
Half of -16.
-8.
-8. That together makes -12. Half of -12 is -6, and that makes 0. Now, don't write this out. Don't write out the polynomial. Don't write out the polynomial because since we know that 3 also goes in there, we're going to do another synthetic division on top of that. Right? We're going to do back-to-back synthetic divisions. Can we do that? Back-to-back synthetic divisions. Just wait a second. Just wait a second. Back to back.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, it's positive.
It's +3. Oh, no. You're right. It is negative 3. It is negative 3. You're right.
Wait.
Because the factor would be x plus 3.
Oh, yeah.
So x is negative 3 is on the outside. Okay, so drop the 2 down. Multiply. That becomes negative 4. That becomes positive 12. That becomes negative 4. That becomes 0, as it should, right? Okay, so last thing, okay? 2, negative 4, negative 4. What will that look like if I put them back together?
X to the third, X to the second.
Nope.
What you just asked?
No.
Okay, so 2, negative 4, negative 4.
Oh.
What would he look like?
X squared,
Is he x to the third or is he x to the second?
X to the second.
We took x to the fourth. And we're dividing 2 factors out. So he should be
X
x squared. He should be x squared. So I'm going to put 2x squared minus 4x minus 4, right?
Because you're doing some
Okay, it's like, so you don't understand how we got this guy back to this guy.
Yes.
Okay, Erica? Are you good? We don't understand how we did this to this, right?
Right.
Okay? Because we were taking x to the fourth and we divided stuff out. So this guy should be x squared. Normally he's x to the third power. Now how many things did we divide out? 2. So we're reducing his power by 2. So he's x squared to start with, and then x, and then the number, right? Okay? Okay, one more thing. Let's do this.
What the hell?
Just wait a second.
T over
Just
Q.
wait. Just wait. Just wait. Okay, so if these guys are irrational, how can I find them if this is a quadratic function?
Oh, you plug it in on the graph.
Times.
I don't know.
Are we not doing 53?
Oh, do you rise over run?
No, it's not. No, we're not
She
doing
said
that.
we're
How do I find those zeros? If this is that guy.
Are we factoring?
Equals 0. Wait, what'd you ask?
How do I find the zeros?
Oh
In
my
this guy.
god, I can't factor.
What?
Yeah, you can. It's a
You can't
complex-
factor.
Foil?
It's a complex.
Yeah, but he fails.
No, he doesn't.
Complex trinomial doesn't work.
Yeah, it does.
What?
Negative 8. Oh, wait, no.
Wait, can we foil it?
Just wait. We're almost done.
Then tell us.
How do I figure out what x is?
Dog, I don't.
How do I figure out what x is? If everything else fails.
Zero.
If everything else fails, how do I figure out what
So
x
equals
is?
0.
No,
Negative b plus or minus square root of 4. Whatever the hell it's called.
Quadratic formula.
Oh my god.
Negative. That was me.
Okay, so negative b would be 4 plus or minus. Write this down. Square root. B squared. What's b squared?
4. Or 16.
16. 16 minus 4 times 2 times negative 4. All over 2a.
All together. Shut it.
What?
Wow.
B squared is gay because boy times
Just
boy
wait,
is
just wait,
gay.
Whatever. 4 plus or minus the square root of, what's that? 16 minus 4 times 2 times negative 4. 48. The whole thing is 48? 16, 36, 48. You betcha. 48. All over 4. Okay, now, last thing.
4 and 2.
Do this real quick. 4 plus the square root of 48 divided by 4, and then do 4 minus the square root of 48 divided by 4. Tell me what 2 decimals you get.
I get 92.
0.73.
What?
When you add it,
The minus
Seven,
get
3,
3
2,
minutes.
0, 5, 0, 8.
when you add, you get 2.73.
2.73?
You get 2.26.
Nah.
No.
You want them right here. Positive is the one.
Now, you might have to put parentheses around it if you enter it all in one shot. We wanted to do that whole thing first.
-0.732.
The positive is first, right?
Negative 0.732. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't get easier.
Negative 0.732. Okay, so I have just found all 4 of them. I have found all 4 of them. What are they?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were doing
I found all 4 of them. What are they?
that. All of that.
2.73.
1/2, -3. We should go from least to greatest? Sure.
-3.
-3.
Why'd you give us so
And
many
then
problems, bro?
-0.732.
1/2.
1/2. And 2.73. Let's check our graph and see if that's right.
And if you do it, that's what comes out.
-3. -0.732. Positive 1/2 and 2.732. Beautiful, beautiful. We found all of them. All right. Okay, don't do any homework yet.
But it
Thank-
Don't do
Okay.
any homework yet because I'm probably going to shorten it
But,
a little bit.
Mine's already started and you finished it.
Let's
All right, don't do any homework yet. I'll probably shorten it.
Thank God. Can I get bonus
All right.
points as I already
Goodbye.
Where you at last? Where you at last?
Mine